of stuff, and as the game progressed, the emotion and the passion just rose all around it. I mean, you could feel it right down on the field, and it was hard fought. We let our emotions get away from us a couple times in there, but for the most part, I really liked our kids just kind of kept battling right up to the very last play once again.
Absolutely, and congratulations on the win. I mean, I guess we should start there. That's a good thing. You're bowl eligible now, and that's the good news.
That is good news. That was a big game for us, being in our last home game and where it stands in the season, and kind of sets us up in the last quarter of the season to make something happen.
I got to tell you, just after that game, it was one of those, like, would somebody just splash water in my face? I can't believe I just saw this. When you brought the team together at one point after that, you had a couple ejections and whatnot, what did you say to them in that group?
Well, that was just a gentle reminder about self-control and poise, and that if we didn't straighten up, we were going to cost ourselves a game. And that was basically the message right there.
I'm guessing you didn't put it quite like that.
Not exactly.
Somebody put on one of these blogs, I don't understand exactly how the Pac-10 works or how the rules work or anything like that, Coach, but somebody wrote one of these blogs that this officiating crew was a crew that you had personally banned from Reeser. A, is it? And B, can you do that?
There are rules set up within the Pac-10 about choices for officiating crews. And Bob, it's not appropriate for me to comment about what I have done or haven't done in the past concerning that.
I understand.
Hey, Coach Callan here. You know that last drive, I was really impressed by the way you guys drove the ball down the field. And let's talk about the Bernard play, because obviously after the game we were all saying, well, either touchdown or he was down. And I know you can't, blast the officials because you're not going to do that. But to talk about that play and talk about first the drive, then that play.
Well, I agree with you. With all the stuff about that game, that kind of surrounded it, like that possible replay at the end, and the little bit of a skirmish that broke out in there, and guys were kicked out, because that's become a focal point. But there was a lot of good football, a lot of really good defense by the Beavers, and hard play by both teams. But I think that drive was really a great drive, and I think that the combination of Evanson, Bernard, and James Rogers, and what the offensive line was doing at the time was really, really important to finishing that game. And that was what we thought we would have to do at some point with our offensive front, and with Ev running the ball, we'd have to take over in that game. And that drive, I really liked it. I really thought it was big time. I wish it would have finished in a touchdown. The game would have been 36-23, and we all could have rested a little easier. But the other thing I will say was, despite the circumstances, which were very emotional and scary and all that stuff, our defense went back on the field and did a nice job.
Oh, no kidding. They were great. They were great, especially the last play of the game.
Absolutely. 4th and 2, scoring range, all that stuff.
Absolutely.
That was big.
That was the nail biter, though, I'll tell you.
Coach, I'll remind Bob, because he wanted to be sure to ask, I guess the blogs were saying that the official apologized to you after the game about that call. Is that right?
Pat, I really, I had a very inadvertent bump with the guy, and I don't want to comment on that conversation that was private.
Let me ask you this, Coach. What is the next step now? Because obviously a lot of people are upset with the way that game was officiated. What's the procedure?
Will you be talking to the Pac-10, or have you already?
I have already, and I think we'll be hearing from the Pac-10. There are some rulings regarding ejected players that will be clarified to us, I think, today.
Now, I understand they can look at the replay and even suspend other players that weren't ejected. Is that correct?
I think that is possible. I don't know what they're going to do regarding that at this time.
So now you got the Cougs, and I'm looking at you guys are the Dogs. You're underdogs going to Pullman. It's a tough place to play, let's face it.
It is a tough place to play, and they have won a couple of good games for them at home here lately. They've found, I think, a little niche, a little identity on their defense, what they're doing now. They're playing the 3-4, and look like they're blitzing every play. So handling pressure, blocking that group, and then finding a way. They are really productive offensively. Alex Spring I saw it just past the 10,000-yard mark for career passing, which is that's a lot of yards. So we're going to have to do a great job defensively once again.
So is it Moyval again this weekend?
Yes, it'll be Lyle. I don't think that Sean will be ready to play. He is getting better, and that is good news. But Lyle did a nice job, and I expect him to be better this week.
Ev doing okay now? I mean, he looked like he got clobbered a couple of times the other night.
He did, but he was good yesterday. Bob, you would have appreciated him. By Thursday, I didn't know if he could really play like he is capable of playing, and then thought he had a great game.
He did,
and he was good spirits and good health yesterday as we went for our run and had a good stretch.
Good.
A lot of people, of course, talking about this whole helmet-to-helmet thing with the Locker injury and Al Afalava, and I talked to Al after the game, and he said he was going for a tackle, and, I mean, no harm intended, obviously.
No, none whatsoever. That was kind of a football play. Now, I was really scared for Jake and glad to see him come back on the field. I know him through the recruiting process, and he's a fine young man, a great player. Glad to see him come back. But he lowered his head on the sidelines, and Al went in for the tackle, and it was one of those unfortunate things, I think, that happen in football. But there was nothing to it as far as intent or anything like that.
And when all that was going on, I saw you cross the field and talk to Ty Willingham. What was that about?
I just wanted to see if Jake was okay. I just wanted, there was some time there to do that, and I know everybody on our sideline was wondering, so I thought I'd just go ask Ty.
All right, Coach. Good luck against the Cougs.
Thank you. We're going to have a good week. It's raining like crazy and probably snowing like crazy up there, so.
Oh, boy.
It's going to bring.
Okay.
All right.
All right, Coach. Mike Riley with us this morning on KPAM 860.